Anybody have any questions from department heads? So I need a motion to accept the reports as submitted.
Second.
Discussion. Call the question, trustee Chan. Trustee Dwyer. Trustee Berenger. Trustee Conklin. So carried. Next, budgetary transfers. Everybody had the opportunity to review the budgetary transfers submitted by the treasurer. Need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Oops, okay.
I'm sorry. Debbie?
Yeah, I'll
Debbie
second.
seconded. Discussion. Call the question, trustee Chan. Trustee Dwyer. Trustee Berenger.
Aye.
Trustee Conklin. So carried. Next, reappointment of Jerry DeAngelis to the planning board for a 5-year term. Be resolved that the board of trustees hereby reappoint Geraldine DeAngelis to the planning board for a 5-year term from 1/2018 to 1/2023. Jerry has been a member of the planning board for 30 years, and the planning board commended her commitment to the village of Monroe. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Second.
Discussion. Call question, trustee Chan.
Aye.
Trustee Dwyer. Trustee Berenger.
Aye.
Trustee Conklin.
Aye.
So carried. Next, appointment temporary full-time assistant building inspector Debbie Prue. Be resolved, the board of trustees hereby temporarily appoint Debbie Prue to the newly created position of full-time building inspector effective 12/2017. This temporary appointment is valid for 90 days pending appointment from the resident certification list of the civil service test. Salary for the paid position has been set at an hourly rate of $28.53 an hour. That equates to a $10,000 increase. So I need a motion.
Make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I wanted to just kind of go over something, so just some clarity. I thought it was code enforcement. What am I,
The same thing, actually, the book classifies it as assistant building inspector. That gives it the same duties.
So she can sign off on.
I knew that, yeah, I knew when Jim came in, we talked about some of the things she now can, by authority, sign off on.
Yes.
But now, with regard to the building inspector, she would go out, I know this, well, maybe you should just tell me, her certifications to date allow her to go out and inspect residential, commercial?
Yeah, it's building inspector certification, that's what she has.
Right,
It's just that it's labeled as assistant building inspector. That's what the test for the county and everything is for.
okay. But we did originally come in with code enforcement, that's why I'm asking this.
Yeah, it's the same thing, it's just that that's what the designation is from the county, assistant building inspector. Code enforcement is just two different names, it's the same.
Same duties.
But why are we making her temporary full-time assistant?
Because we have to review off the list from.
It's the county,
civil
the county
service.
just came out with the civil service
So
list.
she is on the list, she passed. Civil service is asking us to do this.
So,
Even though we appointed her.
All right, so my question is, there is no code enforcement position with civil service?
No, they only call it assistant building inspector or building inspector.
Yeah, that's, I think it was the same thing, right?
Is that-
yeah, and that's, I think that's,
Same duties.
we were going after that for quite some time.
Yeah.
So, and then based upon that, we were making a decision to do that. So I just, I want to be clear that, we're doing what we said we were going to do, and there's not something different that I should understand.
It's exactly what we said it was going to be.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then just so there was a assistant building inspector test given, and we called for a list, and we got the list.
Yeah, she took the test, right, and that's what, she's on their list.
Got it.
Correct.
So,
She's been pre-approved by civil service to take the position until she's officially certified off the list. We've called the resident list already, so they're working on preparing it and sending it, and then once we get it, they give you the 90-day leeway period to allow for this paperwork. But
Yes.
they've already verified that. They verified that she has the proper credentials, that she took the test, she passed the test.
Got
This
it.
is just the catching up with the paperwork.
Okay.
Okay, so I call the question, trustee Chan.
Aye.
Trustee Dwyer.
Aye.
Trustee Berenger.
Aye.
Trustee Conklin. So carried. Next, request for consideration order count 189 to be continued at the December 5th board meeting. Board meeting of trustees, Mayor Purcell requested that Clerk Baxter contact Mr. Conley, treasurer for the Association of Pine Tree, and request that the Pine Tree Homeowners Association what they were specifically looking for. So has any information been provided to us?
No, I spoke with Mr. Connolly the day after the December 5th meeting, explained the situation to him. He was in agreement that he would prepare something and get it in. I advised him that we needed to have it by last Friday. I still have not received anything, not an email, not a call, anything.
So they were requesting,
One for the next meeting, and then that's it.
well, this is the third time.
Oh, is
Right,
it?
are we doing that again?
This is the third time.
We've given ample opportunity to present his case.
Okay.
That's why we asked this, is we know it's going to be the third time we're going to be reviewing it. They were not specific in the two letters that they written to the board of what they wanted, to be honest with you. They just asked for $1 credit, but they didn't say why, what the cause.
They didn't even ask for a $1 credit, they just
Right,
said
that's
for
correct.
leniency or
Leniency.
consideration. But
So
didn't
that's why we
specify.
asked for it at the last meeting.
And we considered tabling it 3 times, so.
Yep. So.
Thank you.
Next, parking ban along Shoulder Route 17 between Bridge Street and Oakland Street.
We do something with this, right?
We're gonna send them a letter, well,
We'll send them another one.
letter of denial, or what they're, whatever, it is. We don't even know what they're looking for.
We don't have to vote on this?
We can make a motion denying any credit
Yeah.
that they would maybe request in the future. Okay, so we'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we deny any credit on order account number 189.
Due to
Due
non-information.
to failure to present case.
Right. Perfect.
Second.
Discussion? Call question, trustee Chan,
Aye.
trustee Dwyer.
I have a question. What if, for whatever reason, they come in next month with their reason, or they contact the clerk with their reason? What do we do then?
It's dead. They had ample time to do it.
This is the
It's
third
third
time.
time. And actually, the clerk called as of this previous week and Friday and asked him to come in. We spoke yesterday.
Said if you can't make it to the meeting, then
Just
please.
provide information.
And he said, okay.
And I reiterated that the second letter that he submitted was not clear
Right.
on what they were requesting. So before the board took any action, they would like a specific, whether it was a dollar amount of a credit or whatever the case may be. And he said, no, that's fine, I understand, I'll be happy to prepare something, I will get it to you. I gave him the fax number, I gave him my email, I told him he could drop it off in person, he could drop it in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
So trustee Dwyer,
Aye.
trustee Berenger,
Aye.
trustee Conklin.
Aye.
So carried. Back to parking ban along Shoulder Route 17 between Bridge and Oakland. As of the December 5th, 2017 Board of Trustees meeting, Mayor Purcell requested Attorney Bonasat redraft a resolution law to include the ban on double parking, which can cause line of sight issue, as well as including the ban on overnight parking, as well as present and the revision of December 19th, 2000, present the revision 2017 board meeting. Be aware, as the Village Board of Trustees and Village of Monroe has determined that allowing motor vehicles to park overnight between the hours of 10 p.m. alongside Bridge Street to the beginning of Oakland Avenue Route 17 in the Village of Monroe poses a threat to other drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Monroe has further determined that the presence of vehicles which are double parked alongside Bridge Street to the beginning of Oakland Avenue Route 17 in the Village of Monroe poses threats to other drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Whereas the Board of Trustees finds that providing for a parking ban in conjunction with the above alongside Bridge Street to the beginning of Oakland Avenue Route 17 in the Village of Monroe is necessary to protect the health, safety, welfare, and general public to prevent motor vehicle accidents. Now therefore be resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Monroe, that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts and enacts the resolution to the ban of the overnight parking of motor vehicles between the hours of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. alongside Route 17 between Bridge Street and Oakland Avenue in the Village of Monroe. To also the ban double parked vehicles alongside Route 17 between Bridge Street and Oakland Avenue in the Village of Monroe, in furtherance of the health, safety, and welfare of the general public, and in an effort to prevent motor vehicle accidents. So I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Wayne.
Question, there's that little stretch of Oakland, it's two-way, and once you pass it, it becomes one-way?
That's the village.
Right. Can we consider making that, instead of two-way, one-way, and putting parking on one side of the street?
Well, would the village would have to, that's the village issue, this is for the state, this is resolution, I
Okay,
go to
but
the
just
state.
bringing it up, is that,
Yeah, if we want, we could talk to the chief usually does studies and
okay,
surveys, and
yeah, that's all I want to know.
we could do that.
Because that alleviates some of the problem there. If you put a couple of parking spaces on one side, make it one, okay, that's all.
Yeah, I wasn't here, obviously, that's the meeting, but the only concern I have, we mentioned the overnight, and that was what created this, started this. But I went out there several times, and during the day, you know, it's overflow, it's off the shoulder, but when it's measured out, it's a car width. The shoulder then becomes maybe 12 inches from that car width before the car is now on a 20% incline. It's not like in front of Vincenzo's. It's not a spot, you know, and I just, you know, I just think that's important to recognize. I'd rather look at the idea of maybe considering some alternate place for parking, for overflow parking. I don't know how many homes, Kim, you probably know, how many homes on that street have parking in the back?
Oh, not that many. If even,
Right, right.
if even.
I think it's
Mostly
only-
it's in the front.
They're all
I'm
parked.
the only one in the back.
Yep.
There's two of us,
Right.
there's three of us, that's it. Everybody else is in the front.
Right,
I know, because they have driveways. They have driveways.
that's it.
My concern, just so we're clear, is that by taking this action, we are now saying there is parking. Oh,
Just injuring the back.
and if you had an exposure,
Exposure of,
He's saying if you're not allowed parking at night, why are you allowed during the day? Because the reason you're doing it at night is it's safe.
well, we do it in the village, we don't allow parking at night right now through the winter
No,
months.
but
Well, that's
what he's
what-
saying is during the
But I'm just
day.
saying,
He wants to expand it to no parking, from what I understand. I don't want the words in your mouth.
no, but if you, right, so if you address the resolution as it's stated for life safety and pedestrians and so forth and so on, that also happens during day hours. It's a 24/7 type of world. And I'm saying if we now include that with a certain amount of time and then pause, if we had an exposure during the day, we said that we are going to allow it on a state highway shoulder. You know, I don't know how the state feels about it. I know they want us to pass a resolution acknowledging their right to post and do things. I'm just saying, I just think it's a bigger picture than that. And I think the board should be aware of
I've
that.
got a question for you. There's some houses here that don't have driveways? Or everybody has a driveway? I thought there was like one or two that don't have.
Yeah,
a
there's
driveway.
like one or two that don't have a driveway, they come through Block Alley and they go down into their yard, through a yard, through
right,
another yard.
So do they have parking behind in Block Alley?
Yeah, kind of in their yard,
So they're parking on their yard.
yeah. I don't see it paved, you know?
Chief?
Well, I mean, I've made a few site visits there myself. You know, the issue with double parking, if they're double parked, we write them for that anyway. If they're parked overnight, we write them for that. So I don't see a change here, I mean, with this resolution.
But can you write them for overnight parking on a state road? Even though it's a village ordinance?
Between November and
November.
April, it falls under overnight parking, the same as any other street.
Yeah, but this is going to be year-round, yes? This resolution as it reads is a year-round resolution to ban 10 to 6 parking.
I personally don't think there's an issue with the parking. Well, except for the one house some issues, we dealt with it, they're not doing it anymore. I lived here 20-plus years and I've never heard of an incident or seen an incident. And I've never seen it obstruct my view leaving Bridge Street almost every day.
No.
That's why I said last meeting. We went through this already.
No, I mean, not that we're trying to compromise here, trying to get something done because I'm concerned.
Part of the compromise may be to turn Oakland one way and put parking on one side.
There already is.
Is there?
You know, by the,
Oh, but on this side of
There's
Oakland.
3 spots.
Right,
Yeah.
but Wayne's talking about the other side of
The other
Oakland,
side.
that's now,
So, all right, so honestly,
Oh,
it's
that wide
so
road.
diluted right now, I don't even know what the issue is anymore. Honestly, it's that diluted. Is there parking or is there no parking? I mean, what, the original issue was there was double parking, right?
There was-
Now there's no parking?
There was
or-
one house where they were double parking their cars, one of our sergeants went there, knocked on the door, explained the situation to them, hasn't happened since. We've written 6 overnight parking tickets there since November 1st. They got the point, they're not parking overnight anymore either. I haven't seen any issues since then.
Right.
So we already have the overnight parking that,
Which is a village ordinance.
right, yeah, but I thought it was only on village roads. I didn't realize that it extended to state roads.
Any road in the village.
Right, okay, so that being said, that's taken care of. What's the other issue then? If there's no parking, we just make it no parking then, right?
You want to make it?
I didn't raise any issue.
No, I'm asking, well, somebody obviously went to the chief of police and expressed their issues, right? Like,
No.
nobody, so then how did we get
It
here?
was brought up in the village board meeting.
Been up
back in
to board
October,
meeting.
Or
So-
early November.
Right.
And I was asked to look into it. I contacted the state. State said in order for us to ban parking, the village has to do a resolution first,
Right.
send it to them, then they can ban.
They would review it.
That's my only involvement.
So that's what we're doing, right?
Well, not exactly, not when you carve out a 10 to 6, and that's what I'm saying. If they're asking that we don't want this, whatever that resolution should read, should be in line with what the state DOT is going to eventually do. We can't say, yes, you can do this from 6 AM till 9:59 PM. Oh, the state says no, and they override us.
Well, they can't override us because it's an ordinance, so we're doing that already, so that's a moot point.
Well, I don't know if I feel that way,
But
I
it
just-
is, Neil, if it's a village ordinance and it's in the village, then it's a moot point. You can't park on the road in the winter between those hours, correct?
Between 10 PM and 6 AM.
Okay,
Right, correct.
check, that one's done. Do we, so is there,
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you, chief, is there, do you,
I haven't seen an issue in the 40-some years I've lived here. And-
Kim, do you live there?
There's no issue except for that one house? That was taken care
What
of?
happened was people came in, the public comment complaints, people don't.
About the one house.
So after the meeting, I said to the chief, can you go over there and explain to them they shouldn't be doing that?
Right,
And they stopped doing
it
it.
was done.
And it was like the last meeting that I said. So
Right.
That's how it all started.
Well-
And here we are today, so.
Right,
So-
so then, at that meeting where somebody from the public came and spoke about this, I grabbed that public person after the meeting and actually asked him to show me and identify it for me so that I can go back to the board and find out exactly where the concerns were. He takes me to that spot out there, and in fact, you're right, that one house is a problem. While we're there, the guy to the left next door, he backs up over the sidewalk and parks the car on his lawn. Now, we have no ordinance against parking on lawns, so we can't do anything about him, but the fact that he's driving over the shoulder onto his sidewalk and backing in onto his lawn. That's 2 houses now.
Yeah,
While I was there.
But now you have all these
Neil,
people
be
on
honest
Black
with you,
Alley
Neil,
parking on
my neighbor drives over the sidewalk every day and parks their car in the front yard.
Well, it doesn't make it right.
No,
So
I
does
don't agree.
everybody on North Main
But I'm
though?
saying to-
So does everybody on North Main has to
Right.
ride over the sidewalk to park in their driveway?
Well, I have another question. I have another question. When this was brought up 2 or 3 meetings ago, we spoke about finding out if the people that live there own the property that you're looking to ban. Because we don't know how much property they own down to the shoulder of the road.
Right.
Because where the shoulder goes, there's a little bit of a dirt mound, or like a little bit of a dirt flat spot, and then there's a grass mound. Who owns that? Because that could be somebody's property. I don't know.
Yeah, but my point is this, if you stop people from parking, you have all these people who are apparently coming down Block Alley driving through their lawns to park. What do we do with them? They're parking on their lawn.
All I'm referring to is if you allow this, if this resolution that you're working on tonight, if you start to frame it at a 10 to 6, you now, as a village sanction, parking from 6:01 AM to 9:59 PM year-round. Irregardless, I mean, if the chief is gonna ticket them on double fine, whatever other behavior they're gonna create, if the car's sitting like this, we had the same thing up on North Main, the guy was actually backing in over a school crossway to get into his parking spot. And that's.
But if we don't do anything, Neil, it's still that way.
No, I'm just saying, we might create exposure.
But it's already an
We
exposure.
can create those laws if we want. We could still different creating a tonnage law.
But it's
So what's the
already an
exposure?
exposure because that law already exists.
Exactly.
It's already
It's
an
true.
ordinance. But there's a village ordinance.
So what's the exposure we're worried about, Neil, that your concern is?
My concern is that life and safety, as you read it, as you
Yeah.
just read it, doesn't end at 6 AM. If something happens, and we had an exposure, an accident at 6:10 by some knucklehead pulling out there
Yeah.
onto state highway.
It's a state issue. It's his road. It's a state road. They own the road. We have no exposure. The only exposure we have is might give people won't want to pay their parking tickets. It's approval to tell people you can't park there at a certain time. Once that time's gone, it's their road, not ours.
My point is, we don't even have to do that because it's already an ordinance.
For a period of time.
So we're just regurgitating our own words. Let's
The
not
extent,
even
what we
do
did is
it.
We're
regurgitate
not
it.
regurgitating, we're adding to it, it's 365 days.
That's what I was about to say. We regurgitated, but we
We're
added
to
on
a current
to what's
policy,
existing.
or current law.
Is anybody shopping there at all now?
No.
So I don't mind saying.
We just don't do anything. Why don't we just let the PD do what they're supposed to do and write tickets?
But then what happens to the other people? that I have?
Yeah, no, you know what, Wayne, but I had 2 weeks to
Right.
think about it and I feel better about it.
What about the people that live there, want to have a function, have family over, and need parking because there's limited parking in this village to begin with, and they park the cars and they get ticketed? That was the point that was brought up last week, and that's why we said, okay, to try to make it a compromise, an even playing field, we'll leave it open for the days for the people that live there that have the opportunity to park. And in the evening, when people are parking there, and because an issue, there became a problem, something that we probably haven't experienced, and we're now experiencing it, and we wanted to deal with it. And the issue seemed to be at overnight, not during the day. And that was the discussion in the last meeting. That's really what it came down to. How do we resolve the problem that's existing?
They started parking there, the original people who are not parking there now started parking there at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Correct. And double parking.
And double parking.
That was the bigger part.
Yes.
And how is the double parking addressed during the day?
Our guys.
I'm just asking,
No,
regardless of what we.
double
actually
parking
take tonight.
is illegal as it is by vehicle
Correct.
traffic law, so
Okay,
when we observe it, we issue it.
Correct.
okay.
That's all. So, okay, I need a motion. Make a motion, the overnight parking, double parking. I'm sorry. Need this motion. All right, so I got to call a question. Trustee Chan?
I'm sorry, but this is just recess.
I know you got to address that.
We made a motion.
I have a motion, Conklin, and then we made a second for discussion.
Okay.
So, call a question. Trustee Chan?
Aye.
Trustee Dwyer?
Aye.
Trustee Berenger?
Aye.
Trustee Conklin? It's okay.
No, we're doing, I swear. it's
We're-
so confusing.
Limiting double parking.
Okay, it's
And
great.
overnight parking. So you're parked there during the day,
Year round.
year round.
Whatever.
Correct. Next, request for payment assistance for account 5498, trustee Chan.
Repeat the letter, but did you all get a copy of the letter 5498? The problem is, there was an untimely accident, the breadwinner is no longer with us, and the family is asking for us to waive the penalty fee of $21.32 and allow them to pay the bill in over the next, one payment this month, another payment in January. 2 months, that's what they're asking. So I make a motion that we do it with the penalty and allow them to pay in 2 months. Due to their financial hardship of one time we got the.
But there are some issues. Ernie, did you get a chance to take a look at that water account, the billing itself? You may want to check the meter, and then you may want to check the billing itself. The billing doesn't, like, there's a spot in 16, let's say, where it's 8/31, 16. And then the next bill should be 3 months after that, right? And it's 2 months. And then there's one spot where it actually goes on a 4-month, reflecting on 2 months of usage. It's kind of odd, and then there's one statement that actually repeats itself 4 times. So I looked back to what I could. That was something I used to be able to do, and I can't do that. You know why? I used to be able to go back to 13, and I can only go back to 16 now.
Number one,
Okay. Well, just take a look and then check, I don't know how she's needed. That the resident would get, if you pull those up, not the summary sheet there.
Oh, it's.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, let me clarify. So if you actually look at the statements, quarter by quarter,
Yeah.
you'll see where there should be one, say, 1/1 of 17, it's 2/1/17, or it's 12 something. And then from the 18th of the month to the next billing cycle, there's 13 days that don't exist on the bill. So,
Okay, it might be a software issue.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
yeah,
Okay, no, because I'm looking for it.
I'm sorry.
The billing period that appears on
On the-
the individual water bill for the
Yeah,
customer.
if you pull and download those, Margaret, you're gonna see inconsistencies. Like you should see, I'm just, 1 to 4, to 331, 4/1 to, and so forth.
Okay,
It's not that way.
okay,
The first bill is 10 years.
yes.
It's also the first bill in 10 years.
Yeah, it sounds like it's either on a, either paid by the bank or was very timely.
All right, so who made the second?
I did.
I'm gonna say that we
So any more discussion?
should table it.
Okay. Table for further review? Oh, because of what?
I just think we should table it, because I can't, I wanna see.
A whole.
It's all over the place.
Okay.
That's fine.
Did you see the rates? Like, they're just all over the place.
I just was just looking at them.
Right.
Okay.
Jordan needs to check it out.
So we're gonna table that, okay? Next, amendment to chief's contract, trustee Dwyer.
Did we draft anything specific?
No, actually Judy sent this,
Right.
just it's about his,
Okay,
just
so-
explain, it's not monetary,
No.
it's just changes in
Yeah.
Holiday schedule.
holiday schedule, which trustee
So-
Dwyer will take care of.
Okay, so I had a discussion with the chief. He wanted his vacation, not vacation, his paid holidays to align himself to the current CBA that the board had just passed with the rank and file. And he wanted the exact same days. There were several days that were taken out and they were replaced with other dates, and the chief wanted the same thing. So I reached out to council, asked council to review it. She did. She came back with a very brief statement and corrected the dates so that they reflected what the chief wanted to mimic from the CBA of his offices. So I would like to make a motion, I think,
Yep.
that
For the amendment to the contract.
that the amendment to the contract dated June 1, 2017 through May 31, 2020 be amended to reflect those days that would be changed to reflect the rank and file contract for days off. No additional days, no subtraction of days.
And no financial.
No financial, no other changes whatsoever to the contract.
Okay. So, I need a second? Point deal.
Debbie?
Okay, I'll call the question, trustee Chan. Aye. Trustee Dwyer.
Aye.
Trustee Berenger. Trustee Conklin.
Abstain.
So carried. Next, request to travel Nikon workshop, distressed and abandoned properties. James Cox and Deborah approved. Resolve the Board of Trustees approve the attendance of Building Inspector James Cox and Building Department Secretary Debbie approved the workshop hosted by Nikon, the village official, on distressed and abandoned properties, dealing with the problem head-on. The workshops will discuss how the use of the new New York zombie property law as well as effective code enforcement practices. The workshop will be held in Fishkill Village Hall, Fishkill, New York, from 1 to 4 p.m. on January 18th. There's no cost, January 9th, 2018. There is no cost for this session. The village vehicle will be used. So I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Just a quick question. You had another one that you attended, Jim, prior to, right?
That was to tell us what the zombie law was.
Right.
Cuomo created it but didn't implement anything. So
Okay,
they implemented it, they got it up and running, now they have to tell us, show us how to use it.
and that's what this would do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're registered with them, we're online with their,
Would that come?
yeah, well, remember what Debbie and I registered?
Oh, yeah, with the zombie.
With the zombie, new zombie law, there's an actual website to deal with it directly now, and it's always been part of that seminar, basically how to use the tools,
Right.
and really review the law and how much teeth it does have, and who they can and can't go after, so it's a little complicated right now, but it's moving forward, so we're registered with them. Okay, so call the question, trustee Chan, trustee Dwyer, trustee Berenger, trustee Conklin,
Nay.
carried. Mayor's report. I'd like to say thank you to trustee Conklin for resurrecting the Winterfest.
I didn't do it alone.
It was a team effort. I will say it was definitely wintry festival.
It certainly was.
It might have not had as many participants, but I'd like to say thank you to also John Linder, DPW Superintendent, doing the hay rides, DJ Steve,
Trustee Berenger.
Trustee Berenger. I was like ShopRite donated a lot of goods for the day. And we also had some stalwart people that were staying with us all day, helping out. But it was, believe it or not, we had enough participation, making it a fun day, and looking forward to next year. It did take a little hiatus for a year, but we're back, and I'd like to thank everybody involved and who showed up to, and were real troopers and stayed through the freezing snow. And John and his DPW staff that day get everybody safe as the snow came down heavier. And I can thank the PD because they were on hand too, as always, and they were very active with the community, so it was great, so thank you. And I just want to make a little announcement. About a month ago or so, I was with Senator Larkin talking about some issues or maybe some financing to get help with. I reached out to the chief and DPW superintendent. They actually, I had them write letters to Senator Larkin's office. One was for purchasing of a new police vehicle, and for the DPW purchasing equipment for the department, and we just received 2 letters from Senator Larkin's office. Currently, he has secured $60,000 for the Village Monroe Police Department to purchase a police vehicle. The funding will be through a state municipalities facilities program called SAM for short, and will be administered through the dormitory of the state of New York. That'll take about a year to 14 months to get the money, but the paperwork will come. Dave will start to fill it out. And the same goes for DPW. Senator Larkin has secured $80,000 through the SAM program to the dormitory. It'll take about the same amount of time to get the money, but the paperwork will start, John. So, Senator Larkin just secured $140,000 for us here in the village. And Senator Larkin's been very good to this village for many, many years, actually. Since I've become mayor, he's worked quite a bit, over $1 million to the village in grant money. So I'd like to commend him. We have a great relationship, and the fact that he got this back to us pretty quick, David, John. I was surprised, actually, how fast he got. So that's all I have. If there's anything, does the board have anything?
I did.
Trustee Con.
So I have to say, if anybody's driven through the village and saw how awesome it looks, Jim did a great job with all that stuff. Just as you're coming in, I mean, it's phenomenal. He did the tree. I had a vision for that gazebo, and I could not have done it if it wasn't for Neil and the chief, who, honest to God, were on the roof. Neil was on the roof, chief was on the roof. They just allowed me to bust them around for hours on end with zip ties and horrible music, and just got it done for me, and it looks amazing. So thank you, you guys. And John, freezing through that winter festival with a smile on, he does smile, everybody, just so you know. He does. And he did have an ear-to-ear grin with those kids on the back of that wagon. He was awesome. Never complained once, and he was bitter cold and soaking wet. Debbie, she was a trooper. She really
time.
First
It was a good
time,
time.
and she never left one, she ran errands, she was just awesome too, so.
Hot chocolate kept coming.
Yeah, I can't, honestly.
The popcorn.
The gazebo does.
Oh, and Margaret, by the way,
Yes.
who showed up and helped too. She was awesome, she was there, and Kim came towards the end.
And the kitty stayed.
Yeah, so it was a group effort, and it was awesome.
Really was a good time. And
Thank you, everybody.
It was kind of nostalgic when the snow came
It
down.
was, absolutely.
And, it really was perfect. And we couldn't have asked for better weather.
Was it Winterfest?
Doing the job, that's what makes the village so great, team effort.
And the
Everybody,
gazebo was crazy, it looked so awesome.
everybody does heavy lifting, everybody does their job, makes their part, steps up, and that's what makes us such a great community. So really thanking everybody, as Reed said, I can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah.
And the board supporting everything year after year, it's critical. It's critical because we can do the functions that we do all year long and give a little bit back and have entertainment and enjoyment for the village. We really appreciate it, so. Anybody else?
Yeah, on the next agenda, can we put on this thing with the police cameras on the agenda, discussion?
Sure.
And
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, public comment? Yes, John?
I was on the Heritage Trail today, two things. The odor coming out of those vent pipes up there by the jet park, the hydrogen sulfide. It's brutal.
Did you say odor?
Odor, hydrogen sulfide.
Sound like you said owner first,
I did.
John.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's hydrogen sulfide, it's pretty bad. I had somebody walking with me and they looked at me, I said, hey, was it me? But it's a real bad sulfur smell. And that's coming from movement.
Come from where?
That's coming from the movement.
Movement.
I
Correct.
think we've discussed how when they
Yeah.
pump over, everything hits that drop manhole
Yep,
behind the jet park, it disperses it, and that's the smell you're getting.
yep, the county's aware of it actually. They've been notified by the public already, we've
Is
got.
Pete Hammond still there?
Of course he is.
Okay, because,
I know.
but
Also-
Him and Phil Solero, when he was running that up there, but
Yeah,
and that, the sad thing is, that's highly corrosive.
Rob Geralman has actually been trying to work with Mudna because it involves also Blooming Grove. So they know about it, they've actually trying to put something together with Mudna to straighten the problem out.
They were
Right
hitting a
now.
chemical back in, I want to say 2007, 2008, which neutralized it, so it wouldn't go into septic. And the odor went away. But from what I understand, they stopped putting chemical in there again.
No, they're putting it in. Chemicals going in.
They are?
Yep, I actually asked about that.
Okay.
It is going in, but Rob knows there's another issue between them and Mudna they're trying to resolve, between Blooming Grove, or the village of Blooming Grove,
Okay.
South Blooming Grove. They know about it though.
As long as
But
it's-
we appreciate it, we'll get on Pete.
Yeah, there's the two vent pipes up there that stick up like 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And it's just brutal.
Stink.
John, just to be clear, you were referring to the chemical that was added on the Chester side. Movement, Chester.
In Grayport Road, they added it up there at the
Yeah.
pump station, that's correct. That's where it was being added.
And when it was, there was no smell.
Smell.
The smell was,
No, when it was added, there was no smell.
that's correct. There
And
was
then I remember last
substantial-
year, there was something about, I don't know, some kind of aeration of fans or something, or some kind of a pump, something that was broken on the Mudna side that precluded them. You remember that last year or the year?
No,
No, the problem was, Neil, they had a system, the chemicals John's talking about that feeds down from Mood into the system. They were having a problem with that. And that supposedly, because we have talked to the Orange County Sewer District, where Rob Drallman actually keeps me in tune, because he knows what's going on. Apparently, they said it was fixed. So that's why we didn't get complaints over the summer.
my suspicion would be that they're not treating that.
We could reach out.
I mean, it just, I don't think.
Well, we can reach out to the town and find out what the status is. They got board members that are on the Mood Commission, we find out.
With the amount of hydrogen sulfide that's coming out of there, I'd be suspicious.
Okay.
So, just bring that to your attention. Also, I know I had brought up a while back, and I think you said the county had given you authorization to take those artifacts, the railroad artifacts, on the Heritage Trail, the old concrete switches.
John, what do we do with it?
We're gonna get it down probably right after the first of the year,
Somebody already tagged it, they've already graffiti on it. It says Trump. So.
They told us just take it.
Yeah, we'll bring it down here and put it
Okay,
down.
I just don't want it to be.
Right after the first of the year, I got a bunch of work I want to do up there, actually.
Right, and just the last thing I had, I know there was meeting, I think it was 2 meetings ago, regarding the traffic study with Cumberland Farms with Freeland Street,
Yes,
and you were gonna branch it out to Spring Street to do a couple other things
Yes.
along the way in Nate's Place.
yep.
Are they doing traffic counts on those roads?
It's already done, the study that our engineer did, said everything's fine in working order. And over at Mapes, they said the right on red needs to stay, is their recommendation. So, because,
No, I don't know.
One of the
no right on red,
things,
I'm sorry.
yeah, one of the things that, I know I brought it up in the past, is start putting some of these turning lanes in for like Calvin and 4 Street, and the same over there on Spring going on to Mapes, so you can keep traffic flowing. Just wondered if they could look into that while they were doing the study, but if you said it's already done.
It's already done, they said there was, that currently, the way the traffic system's set up, it's set up properly in their report.
Just wanted-
But your point is that the traffic, it just tunnels right back up to the major intersection.
Well, what happens, if you go either south on Freeland Street and somebody's trying to make a left on the Calvin Terrace, nobody's moving. Because the traffic is bumper to bumper coming the other way.
In a single lane.
If you're going in the northern direction and somebody's trying to make a left on 4 Street, you stop, you can't, nothing's moving. At least if you had a staging lane for them to get over into, the traffic would keep flowing. Same thing over on Spring Street. Everybody now is trying to go around the shoulder by the old laundromat to keep going. So that, I mean, these are things that we're gonna have to probably start getting looked at.
10 minutes from High Street. Question for you, what's happened with the Roscoe House?
The owners of the property just gave us a proposal. We have a year to act on it.
Is the board agreeing to that proposal to save the property, or the board is not?
Right now, Tim, we can't answer that question. The board has to review, it was proposed to us literally 2 weeks ago from the applicant.
And when does the board have to respond to what they're
We have
going
up to 1 year.
to give up to 1 year to respond with you? So they're not going to tear the building down, do anything to it for 1 year?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Not what I heard, but okay.
Well, I'll tell you.
All right, that's why I had to inquire, because I think the public wants to know, and I think they'd be very upset if anything happens to Roscoe, that house. The big cry out to save that house. I know, a lot of people in this community care about that house and the history it has. So if the board can't do it, let me know, I'll inquire it, I'll take it over.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Very simple.
The board has to make a decision on that. But we were given a final proposal for them to finally, it was given to us, we have to make a decision what we want to do with it. Okay? Carol?
Yes, 2 years ago, I did not pay a water bill, and I'm not here to claim about my water bill anymore. I called the water department. I don't know if I lost the bill, if it didn't come, I got a penalty. I called the water department, I spoke to a gentleman, I have his name, I'm not giving it up. He said, no problem, write a letter, it'll go away. I wrote a letter, and it did not go away. Okay, I got penalized, I paid my penalty, done. Now I come to meetings and people get waived for paying the wrong municipality. People get waived for this reason, they get waived for that reason. So it begged me to say, why not do it again? And I wrote another letter and I got a call from Mayor Purcell. He said, absolutely, what we do for one, we should do for all. Mind you, it was 34 years that I'm living in the village when I got the late water charge. Never once was I late. Never once did I not pay my bill. So on Mr. Mayor Purcell's recommendation, I wrote another letter asking for my water bill to be considered. And much to my surprise, I get a letter denied. That's fine, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with inconsistency. You say yes to some and no to others with no regard as to what's going on behind the scenes. Even a bank gives you a one-time courtesy and they don't even know who you are. Here I'm a resident now 36 years and not one little inch of courtesy. I think you should all be ashamed of yourselves for not looking at a total picture of a hard-working taxpayer. And like I said, I don't want my penalty back. Keep it. You need it more than I do. Let's go. Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Anybody else in the public? Any motion to adjourn?
We should have gotten on the table.
Second?
She's still talking.
I'm sorry, was that?
I'll second.
Who was the first?
Wade.
Wayne.
Okay, call question, trustee Chan. Trustee Dwyer. Trustee Berenger. Trustee Conklin. Go.
Carol Ferraro.
So can we just be noted also,
Yeah.
Mrs. Farrar, that with all due respect, we do look at every single water bill that comes across this table or dais, whatever you want to call it, and we make a decision as a board. We don't just arbitrarily choose who we're going to extend a courtesy to. We do our research, and yes, somebody sent the water bill to the wrong department, but they paid the water bill. So that being said, I'm going to disagree wholeheartedly with her rude comment and say we do our due diligence when it comes to the water bills.
Well,
Unfortunately,
also-
she didn't want to stick around to hear that.
Last week, the last meeting when we went to discuss it again, we were told by council
Right.
that because we had already voted no 2 years ago, we weren't allowed to
And there was
revisit it.
no new circumstances. We
That's
weren't
what
allowed to
it
visit it again.
So that's what I remember from the
And
last.
she requested, she sent an email, and I said, write a letter to the board, you can come
You
talk,
did
that's
what
all
you
you
were
can do.
supposed to do, right.
That's it. So we did follow up on her request, and the board made a decision, that was it.
More importantly, she's lived here how many years did she say?
36.
36 years and never missed a water bill. I'd make the assumption that you knew your water bill was coming at some point, and you probably should have realized you didn't pay.
Which we questioned that before in the past.
Moving on.
I don't know.